Mental health. You have to start looking at your mental health the same way you look at your physical health. People make a conscious effort to join the gym and to eat certain foods and go on a diet with the main focus around their physical health. So there's a consciousness, there's an effort that just about all people in today's society, even if they don't follow their goal of getting in shape, it's very much always in their mind. Are they eating the right thing? Are they exercising enough? And even if they're not, again, they're conscious of their physical health. So that same consciousness, that same effort, that same urgency that you have about your physical health, you need to apply to your mental health. Because everyone has mental health. And just like physical health, there's a broad spectrum, right? Like you see someone morbidly obese, and I used to be morbidly obese, but you see some people who are morbidly obese and they may have a thyroid condition. They may have some type of physical DNA chemical imbalance or some type of issue where it's not just as easy, or it's not the same thing as someone who doesn't have a thyroid issue or whatever issue they have. So it's the same thing with mental health, right? There's some people that they may have some type of severe chemical imbalance and they're all the way on the other end of they need severe help mentally. There's some people that need severe help physically. So there is a range of health for a variety of reasons. So what should you do? You should always focus on what you can control. Your life, your job is to solve your life. Okay. And if you're not in a good place, it's going to be hard to give someone else advice. It's hard to take advice from an overweight lady that has diabetes about food. That's what my mom tried to do. She tried to give me food advice, and I love my mom. My mom is a blessing from God. But it's hard to take advice about mental health from a psychopath on YouTube that has 20 different fake profiles. So that's why I am very quick to either block or to guard or to rebuke someone who's not taking care of their mental health. Not because I'm shaming someone who's struggling with their mental health, but you have to have a level of, you're not going to put your unhealthy habits on me. If you don't put any effort, any consciousness into taking care of your mental health, guess what? You're not going to have a place in my life. And I was at that same place with my mom. I love my mom. I respect my mom. But I was at a point where I really had to get focused on my physical health. And I couldn't be around fried chicken. I couldn't be around greasy soup. And I got in a big argument with my mom because she was like barbecue. And I said, Mike, I can't be around that much food. She didn't understand it because her physical health is very bad. So it's you can't really get good advice from someone who's not in a good place themselves, even though they may be loving, kind, and we all need the grace of God. So be careful who you're taking advice from, and don't let someone else who isn't putting effort into their health, physical or mental, guilt trip you. A guilt trip is a form of manipulation. I believe we're all saved by the grace of God. I believe none of us are better than another. But it's your job in your life to take care of yourself as best you can. And everyone, again, has a different range of health. Okay. Some people morbidly obese, some people psychopaths, but most people, just like the range of life, are in the middle trying to figure out life. You're going through a tough time financially. You feel overworked. You're going through a divorce. You're struggling with some type of an addiction, gambling, drugs, whatever. Or just life, because life is hard. And I'm blessed, and I still understand life is hard. But we have to stay positive. We have to make a conscious effort of mental health. So what affects our mental health? Well, right away, your physical health affects your mental health, right? So what you eat, okay, foods have nutrients in them. And fruits and vegetables and a plant-based diet many times have the most potent nutrients that give your body energy. It gives your body a level of health. You are what you eat. Your cells in your body feed off the nutrients that you digest through food. And movement. I make a conscious effort every hour at the max to get up and at least go for a 5-minute walk to get my blood flowing. Why? Because when your blood flows through your body, that delivers nutrients and oxygen to your cells. So your mind, your brain is inside your body. Okay. So mental health is somewhat tied into the physical, right? Because your physical body stores your mind. Okay. So you have to have somewhat of a conscious effort of your physical health to take care of your mental health. Movement and eating the proper foods plays a part in your mental health. Who you have around you, who you have speaking into your life. Why do I block people so quickly? I blocked my father out of my life. And sometimes people ask me, why did you block this person from YouTube? Not that I have to justify myself, but I always start off, look, if I'm willing to block my own father, do you think I care about someone who has fake profile picture? And it's not about that I don't care, because I still care, and I thank God for my father, and I care for everyone. I don't like to see people suffer. But I guess what I learned as an adult, when you're in the hospital, even people that care about you, my mom was at the hospital when I had severe nerve damage. I thought it was because of my weight. It was because of something else. But I realized at that moment in my early 30s in the hospital, I said, you know what? I'm an adult and I have to start taking care of myself, because if I really get sick, all they do in a hospital is give you drugs and try to relieve the pressure, but then you have to go home and do the work. So whether you go to a regular hospital or a mental hospital, okay, a mental hospital or a physical hospital, many times all they can do is give you pain medication. They can maybe do some type of thing where they relieve the stress, maybe some type of surgical thing or some type of procedure where they can relieve some issue that's causing an underlying problem. But when you come home from a regular hospital or from a mental hospital, now the true work begins. Because guess what? If I would have came back from the hospital, I was in a regular physical hospital for physical nerve damage. But again, your mental health is right tied in with your physical health. Some of it you can control, some of it you can't. So if you have a heart attack and you just have a certain DNA where you have heart disease in your family, you can't control that. Now sometimes people with mental health issues, like, my sister struggled with drugs, and she used to say, well, this is because my mom maybe struggled with food or my father struggled with alcohol. So the addiction runs in the family. Look, maybe that's true, but I'm not addicted to anything. I still struggle. I feel the struggles of different addictions, and I'm not perfect. So, but I want to acknowledge that certainly things can get passed down to you. So I don't want to say that's a cop-out. Okay. But I also have to acknowledge is get the hell away from your unhealthy family members. Okay. If you got to live in your car, if you have to take a vacation by yourself, living in a house that's unhealthy for you physically or mentally, being around the wrong people affects your mental health. I remember I used to date this girl, and years ago I ran into her sister and her mother, a nice family. And at that time, I was letting myself go physically, but I was still, in a good place. I was young, and I saw them, so we just said hello. And I remember I asked the girl's mother, how she was doing. She was an older lady at that time. I don't know what she was, in her 50s or 60s. A shout out to Marin, who's in her 70s, left a comment on my video last night talking about she didn't know what a blowjob was when she was a teenager. Come on, Marin, you ain't fooling me. Talking about she didn't know what a blowjob was till she became 30 or 40. Give me a break. Give me a break. I love you, Marin. But I ran into one of my girlfriends I had when I was younger, and I didn't, I just had a couple girlfriends. I was never really big into dating, but a nice girl. And I asked her mother, she was in her 50s and 60s, how she was doing with her relationship. And at that time, I was really starting to be conscious of how things affect us. And I said, your relationship with that person, is it a healthy relationship? And she thought about that for a minute. I don't think many people had asked her, was she in a healthy relationship? I think many times people ask, are you happy? Got to be careful. Sometimes happiness can lead you astray. Think sometimes people ask you how's things going at work. Many times people don't ask you how your mental health is with your job, because your job can affect your mental health. There's a lot of psychopaths that I met on YouTube that they don't work a job because they can't handle the stress, and I understand that. I want UBI, guys. I want our society to have a little bit more social empathy, okay? Now, you guys voted for Donald Trump. You're psychopaths. You can't work, and you're mad at me. I voted for Hillary. Don't be mad at me. But I understand that my sister used to say, because she was very intelligent, okay? And she worked some good jobs. She could have easily had a great career. But she used to say that when she goes to work, the job would stress her, and that would cause her to use drugs. Now, she hasn't worked in about 15 years, and she still abuses prescription drugs and alcohol. So I always say, like, if you guys are telling me you're not working because it affects your mental health, but you're living in your mom's house and you're basically, one argument away from committing homicide on your mother, or in an unhealthy relationship, drinking alcohol, playing video games all day, don't fucking tell me you can't work, okay? I understand that you can't work, but if you're not doing anything to take care of your mental health because you're not working, fuck you. Guys, I understand how hard life is mentally. Okay? I understand we could all be broken. I felt like I've been broken in life. And I feel how the thoughts racing in our mind can easily, for someone who doesn't have control, or we could lose control. And I could feel how our thoughts can overcome our control and we can become out of control. So I empathize. And I empathize with those who may need to get away from work or who can't work. I empathize. I understand that completely. All I'm saying is, if that's who you are you making a conscious effort with all your free time to put a lot of effort and take care of your mental health? Are you trying to eat the right things? Are you active? Are you watching who you're around? Are you just sitting in front of the screen all day, abusing your mental health, self-abuse, with 20 different fake profiles so you can get free Netflix and sit on your ass? Huh. Come on. You got to take mental health serious. I take it serious, guys. Like, all you fat people out there, hey, I understand it. I'm one cheeseburger away from being real fat. I stopped eating meat. Why? Because I don't want to be fat anymore. But, all you guys who are wearing tarps as bikinis, now it's the summertime. At the wintertime, you made an oath, you made a vow, you were going to join a gym. Because everyone takes their physical health serious. Even if they're overweight, they have an idea that they want to be healthy physically. But why don't we put that same effort into the mental health? You have to. You have to watch who you're around. You have to watch how much obligation you put on you. That's why I'm very cautious to get back into a mortgage or a lot of debt, because I really felt how that was hurting me mentally. And I don't want to use the word scared, but I'm very cautious to get back into long-term commitments. Not because I'm not responsible, not because I don't see the value in some of it, but because obligations hurt me mentally. And I have to take care of my mental health. Having to go to church every Sunday, and if I don't go, there's an issue, that hurts my mental health. For a season of my life, learning spirituality helped me. But then after a while, when it became a burden of an obligation, it started to hurt me. Dealing with people that just say the wrong thing to me with the wrong tone. Anytime someone steals your energy, they're not good for your mental health. Your energy is to be protected. Your energy is your lifeblood to do things in life. You need your energy just to roll out of bed or roll out of your car. Guys, you know how much energy I need to keep it moving, to stay compliant? I can't afford to be around people that steal my energy. I want to share my energy in abundance, let it overflow. But some of you guys, you got the Slurpee straw, and you stick that Slurpee straw right down somebody's throat, and you suck all their energy out. And your ass is sitting over there with 20 fake Netflix accounts because you're not taking care of your mental health. I can't be around it. Can't be around it. I have compassion for those who struggle with mental illness, just like I have compassion for those who struggle with physical illness. But guess what? It's my job to do. I got to take care of myself. I want more social programs but at the same time, a lot of people do a disservice to those who are trying to make society better when they say, yeah, we we need UBI or we need social programs, and you're already sitting there and you got all this extra time and you're not putting any effort into making your mental health better. And even if you're always going to be like overweight, even if you're always going to have a lot of mental problems, again, everyone's on a different spectrum. Are you at least trying every day to do something to improve yourself? Going for walks, eating right, not talking to people that aren't good, not watching things that aren't good for you? Like if you're binge watching rape abduction movies or horror movies, guess what, guys? Don't come crying to me, because I can't even watch Bambi without it affecting my mental health badly. Why? Because I think about my dog. I think about the sadness of life. I can't even watch Finding Nemo. And some of you over there, some of you psychopaths are watching like triple homicides. You're Googling on YouTube like real life murders. I mean, and then you come in here and you expect me to figure out your life? Come on, guys. Mental health is serious, and you got to start taking it serious. I know it's not easy. But just like you look at Planet Fitness, you see, that's the thing. Like, we ride around and you see Planet Fitness, you see like LA Fitness, you see all these different things, and society is very conscious of, oh, I got to get in shape. Okay? But you don't go around, you don't see mental fitness. Okay? You don't see all the psychiatric wards. All you got to do is come on YouTube if you want to see that. Well, once in a while, if you don't think the psychiatric ward exists, you go into the comment section of YouTube channels. Okay. And there's people with extreme bad mental health. Some of it is severe, some of it is minor. But you have to be serious about being as best you can. Limit some obligation, guys. Minimalism does help. Now, I had one person that has bad mental health. They tried to live in their car, and what their basic plan was, they did no research. They're already in a bad place mentally. I don't think they had financial resources. They didn't have anything going on in their life. They're already in a bad place. So I don't know why, but because probably mentally they're not in a certain place, they just thought living in their car was the answer. I can't help that, guys. I'm not misleading you, because you look at my context of my videos, you'll see a clear vision. Okay. But again, a lot of people, just like the Bible or other literature, they take one excerpt out, they don't put it in context, they don't do any research, and they say, this is what I should believe. And there are a lot of people with mental issues. I learned this in the church, and I almost felt myself like that, is without the knowledge of understanding what you're reading in context. There's a lot of people with mental issues, they just grab onto one thing, and then before you know it, they're having dreams and revelation and prophecy and this and that and psychopath mode. And so, like, it can easily go to another realm. Love is the greatest gift. I understand that. And I think that's a beautiful part about faith. I think you need faith in life. But I think there's a lot of psychopaths who are uneducated in the church as well. I think church and support groups can be good for your mental health to a certain point. But just like a church group may be a support group, just like AA may be a support group, just like Gambling Anonymous may be a support group, just like the hospital, just like the psychiatric ward, they may be a place that you can go to get some help when you're in severe trouble, but you have to come home. You have to come home after you get out of the hospital, and you have to do the daily work of building up some habits in your daily routine that even if you have a bad day, you get back up the next day, and you are taking your mental health serious. Because when you get out of the hospital, physical hospital or mental psychiatric ward, you're now in charge of taking care of yourself. Because there's only so much a hospital can do. There's only so much a church can do. There's only so much society can do. And I think society could do a little bit more, but listen to me. Is that, hey, look, guys, I didn't create this world. And I love God. I have faith in God. I try to do my best. I don't understand everything in this world. But don't give me the shit, like, because I'm in it with you guys trying to live my best life. I didn't create the world. I didn't create the way it is. So what am I going to do? Am I going to question God and all that? Look, I'm just trying to stay as positive as I can and taking my physical and my mental health as serious as I can while still having fun. Like Marin told me she'd never heard about blowjobs. I don't know about that. I mean, that made me laugh. But I said, Dan, I don't care how old you are. when you're a teenager, you have to know what a blowjob is. They were giving blowjobs, I think, back in the biblical days. It's the oldest profession in the world. I don't know. All right, let me take a hydration break. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, everyone, leaving those live comments. I appreciate that. One final thing, and then we're going to go into live comments. Is that, again, one of the things that I really, as I get older, downsizing is a benefit to your mental health. I am not saying car living is the way that everyone should downsize. I'm not saying that. But I do believe that there's something embedded in our inner being, that even old people that are not looking to live in their house, but they're looking to downsize, there's something embedded, I think, in the human that they realize as they get older, there is a need to downsize. Not just for the practical financial reasons, even though financial does affect your mental health. I know for me, when I'm not doing good financially, I'm more stressed. I mean, and that's why I'm very cautious now. I want to avoid the word scared, that, I moved to a state, I'm out here by myself. If God forbid, I lose my job, I understand that, apply for another job, work it. But that's why I'm very cautious on what I'm going to obligate myself to, because I remember when I was younger and I got laid off and I was in between jobs, because a lot of times, even if you have a good resume, it takes you 4 to 6 months to find it and get a job and to start getting new paychecks. I remember I was in debt. I was in a bad financial situation. I was stressed out, and everyone takes advantage of you. From the banks to your family members. When someone has you in a bad financial situation, it's not good for your mental health, because it's a lot of stress, and I don't want to go back there. And a lot of that stress was because I just had too much stuff. You don't need a lot of stuff. Again, I'm not saying you should live in your car, but even now, I don't need a lot of stuff. Guys, I'm not here like wearing Gucci and that's not for me what money serves, not at this point in my life. The only reason why I make a conscious effort about trying to take care of my finances is because the mental peace it gives me about not being controlled. And I don't want to feel that again, because that's not good for you. It's not good for your mental health when you're in a bad place like that. That's why these rich people lobby the government every day. Like, you're scared of socialism. We got corporate-ism, okay? Corporations lobby the government every day to have the laws skewed in their favor. And the rich people do everything they can to avoid taxes. And I'm fine with that, because I don't want to live in a total socialist economy. I don't want any of that. We're blessed to live in America. Blessed. But there is something wrong with the way society's structured, from college loans to house loans to high rents to consumerism, which is 70% of the economy, to the rich people. We have the richest president in the entire history of America running the country. And I think he overall has done a great job in many instances. But in many instances, he can never relate to the common man, and neither could Hillary. Why? Because their whole life has been privileged, but they've worked for it. But when you work and you've inherited billions of dollars and you've lost billions of dollars, see, the common person, they make a mistake and they don't have that same buffer. They don't have that same buffer that their father is there to bail them out. Look at Mr. Wonderful. He's on the capitalist show, Shark Tank. You know how he got his start? Mr. Wonderful from the Shark Tank, who's Mr. Scrooge McDuck, literally. He's originally from Canada, where there's universal health care. Shout out to that. He got his start. His first job was at an ice cream store. And the first day he got fired. Why? Because he couldn't hack it working. He was asked to pick up the gum on the floor. And he said, I'm not going to do that. You hired me to do ice cream. And so he got fired. And you know how Mr. Wonderful from the Shark Tank made his way? He got a $25,000 loan or whatever loan from his mommy. Okay. So all these rich people that teach you about their self-made, if you look back far enough, they got help. Okay, they got socialized, whether it's by their family or by somebody. And they have a level of mental understanding of the game and how to play the game. Okay. Some people don't have it. But beyond all that, again, I go back to we are blessed to be in America. I think healthcare is a disaster. Okay. Number one cause of bankruptcy, and the corporations, all the big healthcare companies, they're all publicly traded companies lobbying the government for their socialism every day. Every day. And a lot of times you go to a hospital, what's going to happen? You're going to get subscribed a pill, and then you're going to be sent on your way, whether for your physical or mental health. Because all they want to do is sedate you. Because guess what? No one can help you but you to a certain extent. Doctors can do a surgery, they can do a procedure to relieve the pressure to help you, and that's a blessing from God. You know, and a blessing from the human science. I believe in science and technology. But there's also, after the doctors and after you get all certain things, there's only so much people can do. Then you have to make an effort to take your health, and we're talking about mental health, definitely serious. And again, I think downsizing, I think minimalism is part of that. When I think about a home base and having a house, I know many people have told me they wouldn't like to live on the road because their mental health is actually better when they have a house, whether it's an apartment or a house to go back to, because it's their place of refuge. And I think that's wisdom to a certain extent, as long as it's below your means. I think that's wisdom. And I think about that when I get a home base. I say, Sam is now that I've accomplished my main goal, which is relocating to Florida, is living in my car mentally hurting or helping me, and how is it affecting my life? And I see pros and cons. I see pros to having a home base, to have that sanctuary, to have that stability in your life, because I live a very volatile life now that I'm on the road, even though I'm very structured in my mind to keep a routine. But I know how obligation hurts me mentally. Walking around and seeing the same people every day and being obligated to one place, to property taxes, to a HOA, that weighs on my mind. But everything has pros and cons. There's also a benefit there. There's a season for everything, and I'm not sure what I'll do in the future. But I want to share with you some thoughts I have tonight about this, about mental health and all the different areas of life it affects. From personal responsibility to society to politics. It's all part of it. Okay? All part of it. Never be scared to speak up your truth. Never. But at the same time, you got to do the work, guys. Because no matter what system you put in place in society, when you get sent home from the hospital, it's just you. Okay? And you can have caretakers, you can have helpers, and all those things may be needed. But there has to be some concentrated effort on a daily basis between the people that you allow in your life, whether it's family members or social media. And I shut down my social media, and I think that was a good decision. Now, I like sharing. I think my gift is to share. But it's only a gift if it's from my overflow. If it's starting to affect me negatively, how can I be hurt and help other people? How can a morbidly obese person give you health guidance? They may be a loving person, and love is the greatest gift. I thank God for my mom. I thank God my mom wasn't some skinny psychopath. Because I know some of you guys had a mom that's a skinny psychopath. I'd rather have an overweight, compassionate mom. That's the truth. So I'm not trying to judge, but I'm trying to say that there was a certain point in my life I said, I can't really take physical or food advice from my mom. She's just not in a good place. I just said this on my mind. And so sometimes when I see people who are political junkies, but if your children despise you, but you voted for Trump and you think because you got that right, you made your way in life. If you voted for Trump and he got in, but your children hate you, you failed in life. Okay? You failed in life. You're a disgrace. Not that Hillary was any better, but because you understand what I'm saying? If you failed at being a parent, but you picked the right president, that's not a sign of honor. That's not a sign of intelligence. Got to take care of yourself, guys. Got to. I know this life can be shit. I know it can. You know, I try to acknowledge the good things in life. And I think I want to say too, and we're going to get to live comments, guys. Thank you for leaving. I really do think Florida helps my mental health. Because I have to be by sunshine. I have to be, and even it's been very hot, oppressively hot in Florida in the summer. But for me, I still rather have that sunshine, and I'd rather have the open land of Florida. And I remember when I had got the job transfer, and I was at the final week in the office in New Jersey, and I was around like a team meeting, and my boss had asked me if I wanted to say anything to the group. And I said, well, my main reason for this decision, I mean, everyone already knew I always wanted to move to Florida. But I said, one of the things I said was, you know, it's a major point for me for my mental health. Now, look, I'm a very intelligent person. I'm not, you know, I'm not perfect, but, you know, I have my wits together. But I'm not ashamed, or I'm not unaware to say that I'm making a decision for the quality of my mental health. I knew, for me, that the sunlight, the atmosphere, the culture, after visiting 2 years, not just watching something on YouTube, I knew what I needed to go to a certain season of my life where I have to live in an environment that's good for your mental health. Your environment plays a part in your mental health. You know, I believe if you're around bad people, a bad culture, a bad vibe, I believe that affects your mental health, definitely. Now, you can be in a great area. You can be in tropical paradise. You can be in a great community, but you can still have bad mental health. So it's not the end all be all. Nothing in life is the end all be all. Okay. Because there's some art form of life that we can't understand. But again, I didn't create the world, guys. Okay. I'm just trying to do my best to, you know, live out my days as best as possible until it's time to go. That's all any of us can do, guys. You know, a lot of times people come on here and say, Sam, what's the purpose of life? Hey, look. Just try to make the most of your life. Try to live your best quality life. Take care of your physical, your mental health. Have good people around you. I mean, that's the essence of everything. You know, hopefully you get an opportunity to use your creative gifts. You don't just have to punch a 9 to 5 every day. I'm all for that, guys. I wish I didn't have to worry about money anymore. I wish Traveling Van's rich brother would pay for my health care. Donald Trump damn sure ain't going to pay for my health care. You know, sometimes, you know, some people who, I don't know, I guess they're retired or they got some other way in life. They say, Sam, don't let work stress you out. I said, I hear that, but are you going to pay my bills? Yeah, every time someone says me, I say, yeah, I'm going to send you my bills. I'll send you my healthcare bill. You say my gas bill, my food bill. I eat Starbucks too. I'll send you that bill. Hey, guys, look, got to make money, right? And that's why, like, I really... You know, and I understand how hard this life is, but when I see someone who says, well, I can't work, it's not good for my mental health, I totally understand that. But then if your mental health is still a disaster and you're not working and you got 3 dogs, guess what I say? Put that service dog jacket around yourself, because your dogs have better mental health than you. I love service dogs, but I don't like some people. That's the truth. That's the truth. All right, guys. We go all live comments. Let me roll down my windows. So I got to take one more hydration break. I gave it the best I got. Please take the effort to click that thumbs up button, share the video. Appreciate that. That's all right. I see you, Backwoods. I know there's 5 dislikes. There may be more, but that's okay. Guys, don't have a YouTube channel if you don't have good mental health, because it takes a hit. There was a YouTuber today that committed suicide in New York. He had almost 1 million subscribers. The psychopaths that give a thumbs down, you want to see how many fake profile accounts they have? You want to see how bad their mental health is? I wish I could put a camera in their house, okay? Because they're on the verge of suicide. They have a string of unhealthy relationships, and instead of them improving their mental health, they lurk. You know what? Screw you. Because guess what? If you off yourself, am I going to cry? No. Because you're not putting any effort into your mental health. And I'm over here trying to do my best. Screw you. But I'm not going to take the thumbs down thing down because, look, hey, it is what it is. But you're not going to project your poor mental health on me. I have compassion. I want universal health care. I want society to be more compassionate. But I damn sure ain't gonna let the tail wag the dog. You're a damn service dog. Without the service, you're just a dog. And dog's better than you. That's why I say, hey, I don't care. But that's okay, guys. So look, here's what it is. Here's what it is. All right, let's go all off comments. I love to drive. Hey, Sam. Hey, I love to drive. Thank you again for last night. Love to you. I hope you had a great night making it rain on yourself. Free to be me. 90% mental. A huge part of life is mental. It's true. Number one thing is, guys, watch what you have in your life. Block quick. Block quick. Now, some people say, Sam, you cut people off too quick, because I've been known for that. I said, Sam, how can you cut that person off? It's that not good for my mental health. I'm not saying my way is the right way, but I got to do what I got to do. And then I said to myself, Sam, was I too quick to block them? Was I too quick to cut them out of my life? And then I see them, and they basically are who they are. I can't accept it. Because guess what, guys? If I go in the hospital because I'm trying to help someone else, or I'm trying to be extra compassionate guy, guess what? When I'm in the hospital, guess what happens? It's just you. And all they're going to do is sedate you. And as an adult, like even now, like if I watch something on YouTube that I feel isn't good for my mental health, and it doesn't have to be like a horror show. It just could be someone talking that doesn't it doesn't feel right to me. I have to quickly turn it off. And you guys should do the same thing for me. Anything that takes away your energy, that hurts your mind, you have to turn that off, guys. And if you need someone else to turn it off for you, I mean, hey, look, you got to go bowler, you got to go in the bumper bowling lane. You need some assistance. And I understand that. All right, let's continue. I'm a traveling van. Emotional maturity is a hallmark of good mental health. I agree. And look, we can all have breakdowns. Okay, having a breakdown, there's nothing to be ashamed about. I've been emotionally broken down in relationships and in life. So I'm not trying to sit here from some high pedestal. But over time, yes, we have to become conscious of what triggers us. And there's nothing wrong with getting a little bit fired up. But if every day you live a fired up life, I mean, something's wrong. If you don't laugh, at least once a day or something's wrong. I think poor emotional health. I think there's something wrong with having a bunch of fake profiles. I don't think that's good for you because you're a lurker. Lurking is unhealthy for your mind, whether it's on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. You're trying to check up on other people, and that's hurting your mental health. You're comparing, you're analyzing, you're investigating. You know how great some people with no jobs, they're great internet investigators. They tell you how much you sold your house for, what you look like, who you're dating, what you're doing. And they're lurking around in no man's land with a bunch of fake profiles. And then they go to their therapist, okay? And they're basically their therapist. What they're doing is they're seeing if they can control their therapist. They're not going to therapy to get help. They're going to see if they can outwit their therapist. Total disgrace. And when they go to their therapist, they don't tell them that they have 20 different fake profiles and that they're lurking. They tell them that, my mom did this person did this, society did this, Donald Trump doesn't want to help me. Come on. I know the therapy game. Now, therapy could be good, but it's like going to the hospital. Therapy can only give you some tools. Guess what? You got to come home and do the work. So if your therapist gives you a hammer, guess what you got to do? Don't take that hammer and hit your head in the skull. Even though some of you guys, but you got to put the tools to work. All right, let's take a hydration break. John Suttles, that's my brother. Hey, Sam, good to hear you tonight, brother. I love you. John, stay positive, brother. You're an intelligent man. Talk positive self-talk. John Suttles and everyone out there. Daily effort for positive self-talk. That's part of good mental health. Good job. I love to drive. Mental health is so ignored by society. Yes, and it's starting to be scapegoat in society. But then she continues to go until something bad happens in the news, television, a mass shooting or something similar. I agree. Or suicide. I agree. I love to drive. I avoid my siblings. Good job. Because they drain me mentally. Well, I love to drive. I say amen to that. Because I do the same thing. I love my sisters. And they have done some good things for me. But they're not good for my mental health. They're not. I can't be around them too long. Even when I visit my mom, I make a conscious effort to make sure that I'm not there too much when my sister's there. Why? Because it's not good for my mental health. Some people can say that's sad. You should try to work that out. I've been down that road a million times. Doesn't change. Now, as an adult, I got to figure out what's good for me and what's not. I don't wish bad upon anyone. I like to help people, guys. I do. I have a compassionate heart. But I know it's good for me. I know it's good. I know it's not good for me. And I think there's nothing wrong with saying, look, my siblings aren't good for my mental health and I have to avoid them. It's better that than you force yourself around your siblings and you get into fights. You know, I remember there was a season of my life where my mom would say, look, I want to get all the family together. And I understood a mother's heart. I understand a family's heart. They like to see all their children and all the people they know together. But I remember like starting to push back on that. I said, Ma, every time we all get together, all it is contention and fighting. I can't be around that. I get high anxiety. I get upset because I like peace. Like I come on here for an hour a night. I give you my energy. I bark. I am a peaceful man. I spend truly 99.9% of my life alone. Why? Because I like peace and solitude. I value my peace. I know what I need to do to keep good care of myself. And it's even hard when you know what you have to do. It's hard. But minimize your obligations, guys. Be careful before you join anything that's going to obligate you for a long period of time. Be careful with your financial commitments that are going to extend to indefinitely. Every obligation hurts your mental health, including obligating yourself to go to a family event. Going to a funeral could be bad for your mental health. Don't go. Going to a wedding, bad for your mental health. Going to Thanksgiving, bad for your mental health. Don't go. Why? Because you have every right to say, you know what, that's not good for my mental health. Now, if you don't go to that and you stay home and you watch like a rape abduction movie or serial killer movies all night long, screw you. Because, you know, you're not really like not going because it's not good for your mental health. You're just, you know, you're out of control. So let's continue. Jody. Hey, Jody, stay positive. Hope you're doing well. Love and peace to you. I know Jody also talks about, struggling with anxiety and having her neighbors. She lives in like a trailer park in Florida. And she also has a place in Tennessee. And I think about her videos because she gives like sometimes like insight, like, you know, she feels like her neighbors are on top of her and that gives her anxiety. And I think about that with a home base because even your good neighbors, I mean, you do feel like you're in a fishbowl. And part of the nomad life is I have more privacy at a park than I ever would at any home base. But the negative is at night, you don't have the refuge of a home base. And so, like, I know even Jody has a vision of being an adventurous person. So here what I would tell you, if you want to be an adventurous person, live in your minivan or whatever, it's good. It does provide you that freedom where your mind is at ease because you don't feel like you're in a jail cell. But when you have no place of refuge to go to every night, it could also cause anxiety, okay? And so it could also be bad for your mental health. Campgrounds and having some type of safe, secure place to go is helpful. It can supplement that anxiety. But it's, again, in many instances, living full-time on the road is not a sustainable lifestyle. It's a transitional lifestyle. And one thing gets us to another. And one thing I like, Jody, about your videos too, is I remember you say that you bought that module home, and even if it wasn't permanent, it was to get you to where you're supposed to be. Everything, even if it's not permanent, it pushes you forward to the next level. And I agree with that. Flower Yelida. Hey, Sam, what's going on? Dennis, what's up, brother, my intelligent friend? That is the best advice regarding mental health. Thank you. Get yourself away from unhealthy relationships. Amen, says the choir. Happy Florida evening, Sam. Dennis, brother, keep doing you. I appreciate your insight. I appreciate your positivity, and I love you, brother. Journey with Joy. Shout out to Tennessee, man. Now it's summertime, and your body still look beat up like a Class A. And hey, and some of my best friends, well, I'm not going to say some of my best friends. I got like 2 friends. But I say my mother's overweight, and I love her with all my heart. I'd rather have a mother that's overweight and loving and compassionate than Jacqueline, who's a psychopath who's been married 5 times. So, but at the same time, when I'm looking to take physical advice, I mean, I don't get eating advice from my mother. So, you got to make a distinction. Good job. I'm Travel Man. All busted up like a Class A. Well, I did say that last night. Cameron. Hey, Sam. Checking in. Good to have you, brother. Journey with Jordan. Shout out to Idaho Fitness Factory. Hey. Shout out to the Mental Fitness Factory. I ain't mad at that. Travel Man. 20 fake profiles of fat people in tarps. Yeah. With bikinis getting free Netflix. It's a total disaster out there, Travel Man. You know what it is. Guys, I know, like, when you drive around, you see LA Fitness and Planet Fitness. You don't see the psychiatric ward. You say, Sam, where's the mental health places to go? Just go on YouTube. Okay. Now, I'm not going to say you're going to get help there, but at least you can see the psychiatric ward in the comments. So if you're ever looking for divine guidance in life, don't look at the comment section on the YouTube channel. Okay. Because what that is many times is that is the dookie stain of life. Now, once in a while, sprinkled in between the dookie is a gem. Okay. Even a diamond is mixed in a bunch of coal and stuff like that. Okay. But all I'm trying to say is, that's why you got to limit some of your social media, because all those voices are now in your head. You got a guy named Dookie Van Express who leaving some crazy ass comments on his 20th profile, and you reading his comments, you're watching his video or whatever, and now you're at night and you got Dookie Van 27 in your mind. Because, he basically just came into your mind. You reading his comments, you got to limit your social media. Because you're intaking a lot of different things that are projected onto you. Okay. And a lot of times it's either the highlights or some crazy stuff. Political junkies, religious fanatics, conspiracy theory psychopaths. The conspiracy theorists, like Alex Jones, he says, he's a truth seeker. And then when he's in court and he's getting sued, he said, this is just for entertainment. And even me, I tell you guys, look, this is for entertainment, but I'm sharing my life. Now, and like everyone, whether it's Alex Jones, me, or Trump, or whoever, you have to put or the Bible, you have to put everything in context. So it's unfair for you to say to anyone, like, they made me do it or they did this, because you have to put everything in context. And you have to own your life as an adult. Okay. You can't start blaming, because then you get into that therapy game. And I've seen it, guys. Some people are so clever. Okay. After filing 5 times, they finally got disability, and then they're so clever, they get into a big domestic dispute, and they're so clever, when the cops come, they know to ask for the psychiatric ward, because they know that's going to get them out of jail. So they don't have any mental issues any other time, but as soon as the cop comes, now they're mental issues. And I understand that. I think that's fair, but you know what I'm saying? It's a game. Mental health is real. So guys, never be scared to say you don't want to go to a family event. And if someone asks you, why don't you want to go? It's not good for my mental health. Not good. Not good. Not good. So, if someone can't respect it, hey, guess what? Oh, well. Because chances are the person that wants you to go to the family event, they're getting sedated every night with a glass of wine, with some pills that their doctor gave them. Because they went to the doctor's office, but the doctor, just like many times like the hospital, all they can do is give you a pill, sedate you. Now, many times a pill is needed. But after the pill, you got to go home and do some work. Is it easy? No, look, guys, life ain't easy. And I got it easy. If I look at the big scheme of life and all the other people in this world, I'm thankful. Who's the other type of person that affects your mental health? The unthankful. Now, I watched Jodi's videos, and I'm not going to say like every one of Jodi's videos inspired me, but you know what I liked about Jodi? I heard her say she was thankful in the video. If someone has a consistent theme of bitching and moaning and being unthankful, they're not good for my mental health. I can't be around the unthankful, guys. Not good for my mental health. And so this is what we're sharing tonight. Good job. Tony? Coach Sam on fire tonight. Well, give me a fire emoji. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Tony, hydration break. Yeah, let's take one, brother. Self-care all the time, man. Some people ever say, Sam, if you're able to retire early, if you're able to figure out a way, what would you do all day? Guys, you know how hard true self-care is? A full-time job. And the older I get, the more I have to self-care. So I don't understand. If you have too much free time on your hands, you're not taking care of yourself. Because to go for a walk, to get up every hour, let your blood flow, to eat right, to stay active, to hygiene. I got to take a shower after this. To even clean, even to clean a car. My car ain't that clean. It's a full-time job, guys. And that's why I can't, I'm not type of personality. I know now I could never have kids. I don't even think I could have another pet. As much as I love dogs, and as much as I would love to take some of the dogs away from you psychopaths who have too many, I'd like to save that dog from your psychopath ass. Dookie stain emoji to that traveling van. Give me another one, traveling van. Give me another dookie stain. As much as I would love another dog, I don't think I could do it because I don't think it would be good for my mental health. I think dogs can provide an emotional service. And that's why I think there are service dogs. One, okay? Or two, whatever. But I think that once you get too many, I think it takes away from your mental health. And even one, I don't think I can handle anymore because there's a lot of responsibility. And when a dog gets sick, what does it do? If you care about the dog, it affects your mental health. When my dog would get sick, it would hurt me. And it would frustrate me because guess what? I have to take it to the vet. Some of you psychopaths who have 3 dogs and you live with your mother and your mother takes the dogs to the vet and then you bitch and moan that mommy didn't bring me home McDonald's. What a bunch of psychopaths. But I think pets, and I thank God I had a dog, but I don't think I can have another pet because I just think it would put too much of a strain on my mental health. I feed squirrels in the park daily, and they like to see me, but there's no obligation. And no obligation is better for my mental health. It really is. I feed the squirrel, and we have fun. I talk to the squirrel, but then after that, the squirrel goes its own way, and I think that's the best thing for me. Commitment hurts my mental health, just the way I am. And I figured that out. Now, some people are not like that. Some people, everyone's different. Guess what? You guys got to figure out the work of your life. Let's continue to read. Tony, thank you, brother, for the encouraging words. Cinnamon, laughing. Prostitution is the oldest profession. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with, getting a super chat for a little hand job. Camera, some people's mental health is tragic. It is. What's really tragic is some people don't take care of their mental health and then they project it on you. And I can't be around them. If you need help, guys, go get help. There was a guy who had a YouTube channel today. He committed suicide. And he basically, people tried to help him, but he didn't want to take it. And he took accountability. So I'm going to kill myself. I take accountability for it. So I say, I'm sad that he did it, but he was honest. So look, guys, you can't save everyone. Don't like sacrifice your mental health and someone else is putting no effort in to take care of their own mental health. Because guess what? Then both of you end up total bad mental health. So, certainly look for opportunities to help, to inspire. I want to set up society, maybe a little bit, have more programs, but there's only so much you can do. Because even now, society is really making an effort to put the things in place. But a lot of people just, like I say, they go to their therapist only to trick their therapist. Like a lot of people I see in the mass shootings, they were diagnosed with mental health problems. People were trying to help them. They were in therapy, and they didn't put any work. Now, look, there are some people, just like physical health. There's some people that have thyroid issues. You can give them a free gym membership. You can deliver them fresh food every day. But there's some people, my aunt died of obesity. My aunt died of obesity. I remember visiting her. And when I was young, I don't know what I was, 10 years old. I remember visiting her apartment, and she was real overweight. And she had a daughter, and her daughter had mental disability too. But I remember visiting her. She was severely overweight, and she was making spaghetti. Spaghetti with sauce on a big-ass pot. Big pot. And so she's making the spaghetti. And so after she's done cooking it, she mixes the spaghetti with the sauce in a big pot. And I'm thinking, I'm on the couch. I'm thinking in my mind, like I'm just watching her. I'm a kid. And I'm thinking, oh, she's going to get a plate now. She didn't get no plate, guys. She took that big-ass pot off the stove. And she went to the couch, and she ate it right out of the pot, the whole thing. And I've always been an observer, and I'm observing, and I said, I didn't even think none of it. I'm just observing as a child. And now as I'm an adult, and now obviously she died from obesity, and obviously she had some type of mental issues. Obviously she's related to my mom, and my mom has, not mental issues like that, but she has physical issues. And I think about, and most people struggle with weight. Like everyone has a vice. I did a poll today on my YouTube channel. What's your vice? Meaning, what's the thing you struggle with? Is it overeating? Is it gambling? Is it drugs? Is it unhealthy relationships? So some people who are in shape, they go, I only eat fruits and vegetables. But then they've been divorced 3 times. Guess what? Your vice is unhealthy relationships. You don't gamble, but you take risks. You keep getting married. You're having adultery. Everyone has a different vice, guys. Because it's hard. Everyone needs to focus on their mental health. Because being in an unhealthy relationship, that's a mental battle. I didn't realize how hard it was to get away from I didn't realize how hard it was to get away from an unequal, unhealthy relationship until I got older. And I had to break away from a girl that wasn't good for me. And it was very hard. And I said, damn, I see how people have a breakdown. I really do. I really do. And I see how people keep going back to it. Guys, you got to put a lot of effort into your mental health. A lot, man. And you got to take it just as serious as your physical, man. Let's continue to read. Charlamagne, I watch UFO junk, classic movies, and life hack vids, YouTube. And of course, I watch you, Sam. Well, thank you, brother. I appreciate that. I love you, Charlamagne. Jordan, what is the biggest difference in cultivating positive work relations remotely versus in the office? For me, I just always try to be nice to people. I try to keep it short and sweet. And, in work, for the most part, you're measured by your output. You're given certain tasks. Some of your tasks, depending on your job role, are more related to organizing a bunch of people and getting them to do something. Some tasks are organized around you doing most of the work and getting a couple pieces of information from other people. No matter what you do, what job you have, you always have to deal with people at some level. So I would say in my career, at the current phase I'm in, I don't have to deal with as many people as I used to. But yes, I still have to deal with some people. So the main thing is working remotely is learning to pick up the phone. And even remotely or in the office, once I got away from construction, emails can easily escalate a contentious spirit, a contentious conversation. So you try to pick up the phone and form some type of better line of communication. Not easy, especially when you're dealing with different time zones. And nowadays, in the technology era where we're globally connected, you got some people on West Coast time, some people on Central, some people in Asia, some people in the UK. So, before you pick up the phone, first thing you have to think about, especially when you work remotely, is, okay, what time zone is this person in, right? Because I try to avoid requesting a lot of information from someone early in the morning. So like for me, it may be 9 o'clock in the morning, but for someone on the West Coast, whatever, it's 7 o'clock, it's 6 o'clock in the morning. So I don't want to send them an email with a bunch of stuff I need. Not that I don't have the right to, but I think, well, I know how I am in the morning. I need a little bit of time to rev my mind up. So I'm a little bit conscious of that. And that's the main thing, everything you try to visualize. You try to visualize what the other person needs to see in their mind for you to be understood. Like I remember when I worked construction and we were running pipe in a ditch. And when you run pipe in a ditch, sometimes you have to put an elbow up, you have to put a 90-degree bend in the conduit because it has to stub up into the building wherever it needs to go. Now, we were in a ditch, we were running conduit, and the journeyman, the guy above me was saying, all right, this is how we need to run the pipe. So at the end, when the building is complete, it's going to come up into the side of the building like this. He had a vision of what needed to be done because he saw the end through his experience. I was just starting my career. I had no idea what the hell we were doing. And so I couldn't see what he saw in his mind. So even though we were working construction and we were right physically next to each other, he was visually seeing something in his mind that I couldn't see. So very similar when you're working with someone remotely is that you see what you need in your mind. And even though they're not next to you, you have to, that same thing you have to do. You have to try to get them to see what you need. Okay. So sometime maybe sharing your screen, you have the opportunity to share your screen so they can see what's on your laptop, and you give them a diagram and a visual aid to walk them through that process. A visual aid is one of the most helpful things you can do in any aspect of life. People need a visual aid. Okay, so those are some thoughts that come to mind. Isaac, checking in with you, big bro. I appreciate that. Spit them facts. Isaac, thank you for the positive comment, brother. Keep doing you. Keep doing you, brother. Love to you. I celebrate your life. Backwoods, that's my God, man. Love to you, Dylan. Hey, brother. How was your day, Sam? You know, it was a little bit rough. Some days you have bad days. Not again, I take it in context, right? Because some people, they're going through like a severe physical or life hardship, right? So I always try to stay thankful. But I like to acknowledge when I had a bad day, okay? I don't like to just say always like everything is good. Because that doesn't give you an accurate description of life. And then when you have a bad day, you say, oh shit, Sam always has good days. No, even when you're in Florida, even when you're living your best life, you're never going to have a life in this world that every day is a good day. That's okay. Acknowledge a bad day, but don't stay there. You have to let it go, and every day you have to live a new day. You take the good days when you can get the good days, and you just try to ride through the bad days, and you just put one day in front of the other and you just keep going. That's what I figured out in life. So guys, if it was up to me, every day would be a good day. Okay. Every day there would be the Ice Cube song playing on loudspeaker that today was a good day. Okay. Cause mama cooked a breakfast with no hog. But guys, I don't control the soundtrack to this world. Okay. All I control is what I play in my, in my earbuds, and in my earbuds, I try to stay positive. All right. Let's continue. It was glad to see you live by real OG like you, man. I appreciate that. I really appreciate finding your channel. I appreciate you, brother. You've been a blessing in my life, and I appreciate good people, man. Real talk all day. Thank you for the kind words, man. Thank you for being you, Sam. Dylan, aka Backwoods, brother. I appreciate you, man. You've been a blessing to me, and thank you for that, man. And thank you for anyone whoever gave me any positive comments, man. Thank you. Dennis says, downsizing wasn't a choice I made. It was a result of choices I should have been making. Thankfully, the result of downsizing has been positive. Amen. I really have never heard anyone say they regret downsizing. Never. If anything, I've heard people say they regret downsizing too early. Now, I remember Marin telling me she did know someone that may have regretted downsizing, but I can only speak from my life. For my life, I've never really heard of anyone said they made the wrong decision by downsizing. Now, certainly everyone's different. Certainly there's exceptions. And certainly I'm not saying everyone should go as extreme as I went or other people go. But I think at some level, to streamline your life, to make your life more efficient, I think that helps your mental health. Because I think the less you have to worry about. I think the less you have to worry about, the better your life. Like today when I had a bad day, what helps me is knowing that I don't have too many other obligations. So it allows my mind to kind of like get red and explode. It allows my mind to like get red and expand, but not explode. Okay. Cause I have room to breathe. I have flexibility. Flexibility and room to breathe is part of like a minimalistic life that helps your mental health. Okay. And so, those are my thoughts. Let's continue to read. And then he goes, thankfully, the result of downsizing has been positive. It relieved me a lot. See, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, it relieved your mental issues. Yeah. See, because when you get stressed out in life, your mind is turning red. Okay. And it wants to explode your head, like a head explode emoji. Somebody give me a head explode emoji. But when you don't have a lot of other stuff pressing on your mind, a big house, a lot of stuff, a lot of family obligations, a lot of church obligations, a lot of this, then your mind has room to expand, vent, and then contract back to normal size. And that's key. Good job. Reserved. Hey, man. If you didn't have a car, do you think you could hold down a full-time job being homeless? Is a car necessary? I think a car is extremely necessary. I think in today's world, you can get around it. I think you could Uber. I think you could take public transportation. With Uber, now, with Uber and Lyft, you could do it. But I think having a car is very much essential. I think you can get around it if you totally had to. But I think your first goal should be to have a car, because if you have the physical and mental ability to drive, it's a huge asset. Like I don't look as whether you have a house or whether you don't, I don't look at a car like a liability, even though it is a depreciating asset. Because for most people, now I know some people live in the heart of the city, and again, they just take Uber, right? So, I mean, the highest population in America is in New York City. I spent time in New York City. So in New York City, you don't need a car. Every time I would go to New York City, I would take the train. I would take public transportation. I lived in New Jersey. So, and New York has the highest homeless population. So if you lived in New York and you were homeless, you could just either walk to work or you could take Uber. But, again, many people who are truly homeless, they have mental issues on the severe end of the spectrum. Just like somebody has like a physical thyroid issue. I mean, when you see the homeless like in New York City or anywhere really, but I mean, New York is magnified. You see people on the street and they got extreme issues. Now, I'm sure there's some lazy people there that are just assholes, like every group. But some people no matter what you tell them, it's not going to help too much. So, those are my thoughts. I think the number one thing you want in life is a car. I think there's exceptions if you live in a city. And that's why I don't think, especially unless you have your economics figured out and you have steady income and health insurance, I don't think you should live in the middle of nowhere. Because how are you going to get the job? How are you going to get the resources? The number one thing I have in my favor, stealth camping or camping in urban areas, is that I have a lot of resources because I'm in populated areas that have Starbucks where I can go for air conditioning, outlets. I have Planet Fitnesses where I can go for shower 24/7. If I was in the middle of nowhere and I was in a desert, I mean, there's no resources out there, guy. And that's why it's free. It's free for a reason. Now, again, if you're living off a pension or something like that and you want to live that life, that's up to you. But, if you're in the middle of nowhere and you're going out for a walk and a rattlesnake bites you, guess what happens when you drop to the ground? Nothing, because no one's there to help you. And that's why you want to be around some type of population. So just be careful. Travel van? Yes, it is a necessity. I tend to agree with you, brother. Me and you on the same page. Dennis? Sam, the thing about mental health that so many don't see is the moment you give your mental well-being over to others or to pill, and sometimes people need a pill, you put your own future at risk being decided by others. Yes. Now, again, I want to be thorough in saying that sometimes you need help from others. Sometimes you need some type of supplemental pill. So I can't diagnose everyone, right? But I agree with the context, the heart of your statement, which is, again, like after you're sent home from some type of therapy or hospital or some type of support group, you have to make a conscious effort to try to help yourself as much as possible. Now, I understand that some people can't help themselves, but you have to make an effort. And you have to watch who you put yourself around with, who you put yourself around you, and just be careful. Backwoods, yeah, we're going forward, brother. Dennis, your mental state is self-care issue first. If you don't address it quickly, it can become a genuine health care issue. I totally agree with that, brother. Good job. Backwoods, real talk, thank you. Traveling van, gave me a dog emoji. Milano, Sammy, good to see you, Milano. Love to you, brother. Love to you and Emilio. I pray that Emilio's staying hydrated. I pray that you're doing good. Did you get your first Social Security check yet, brother? Shout out to you, man. Shout out to Miami. It's hot, man. It's been hot in Florida, man. High heat wave. I like it. 100 degrees plus during the day, guys. Very hot and oppressive for some people. For me, better than cold and dreary. So everyone's different. Good job. Your environment affects your mental health. It really does. Tony, good points on lurking. I find myself doing that. You got to catch yourself. And I have to catch myself. Good job and stop. Good job, Tony. Milano, Sammy, did you ever go to the Studio 54 in New York? No, I didn't. I went to Carbon, Club Exit, the Tunnel. Those were the major ones I went to in my day in my era. I hear it was a crazy place. Yeah, I think that was before me. I think that was during the disco era, during the 70s, things like that. So that was a little bit before me. Chris with the super chat, brother. In my experience, downsizing is fun to do. Well, thank you, brother, number one. Thank you, Chris. It's fun and it's relieving. It's painful to separate yourself from stuff. I underestimated how mentally hard it is to downsize. I really did. I found myself, after your initial phase of downsizing is easy because you get rid of stuff that you don't want, that is just crap. And once you start to get down to the place of downsizing where you really have to dig deep, meaning, here's an example. I went into my closet, and there was a study done that basically said 80% of a person's clothes are waste. People wear only 20% of their wardrobe, and they just interchange shirts and outfits. You only like 20% of your clothes. 80% of your clothes are just waste. They're just in the closet most of the time. I had a walk-in closet. People have a walk-in closet and they only use 20% of their clothes. For some people, when they're house shopping, it's a mandate that they have to have a walk-in closet. Be very careful. A walk-in closet is a trap. Like, remember R. Kelly got caught in the closet? Don't get caught in the closet, guys. So I remember going in the closet and reaching for clothes that had the tags on them, brand new clothes. And I had like fancy underwear, fancy Under Armour underwear, like real colorful and nice. And I said, damn, how can I throw this away? It's brand new. Has the tags on it still and looks magical. Like, you know, before you wear the clothes and the colors are popping and everything's magical. And I would pick the clothes up with the tag on, I put it in a trash bag, and then my mind wouldn't let me release it. I had to go back in the trash bag and put it back on the shelf. I said, I can't throw it out. And so there is a mental battle of downsizing that's underrated. But here's the key. Here's to Chris's point. Once you get past that mental hurdle and you finally do throw things out, including brand new things that have the tags, there is a relief. Because the stress now is a little bit off your mind and your mind can expand and contract. You know, and just like living cheap, it can become addictive, right? Because once you start to live cheap, you say, well, how cheap can I live? And then like you try to cut all your bills down. And, you know, it's like fun. It's like a game, okay? Many people with mental issues enjoy games. Many gamers have mental issues. There's nothing wrong with gaming, okay? But gaming is a stimulus of the mind. That's all a game is. You know, whether it's a game on YouTube, whether it's an arcade game, Nintendo, the stock market could be a game. Different games of life, okay? Word puzzles that old people play online. A mental stimulus of the mind. And that's why many times people with mental issues, they have addictions. Addicted to food, addicted to porn. So because your mind, it's hard to control your mind. And so a stimulus, such as gaming or porn, a stimulus can cause you to be fixated on it. And that's why they say a person with a sound mind is well balanced. Okay. They have a little bit of control over their thoughts. Okay. A person out of control, they get fixated on something they can't let go. And I've been there, I understand that. And so I think at least with downsizing, you can be more conscious of the mind. Okay? Because now you have a clarity. Okay? Now, in addition to some of the addictions and the mental hardships of life, you don't have additionally on top of that all this stuff. So you have a bad day at work, you have a bad day in life. You don't go home and you don't see 80% waste. You know, I know there's something harmful in the mind when you see waste. When I would sit in my house and I would see the square footage I wasn't using, but paying for and living in and cleaning, it was hurtful to my mental health. When I would cook food or buy food in bulk, and shout out to my guy Milano, he's shopping at BJ, he's shopping in bulk. When I would buy in bulk food and then waste food, it would be bad for my mental health. Efficiency is good for your mental health. And so that's where it gets fun. Good job. Whew, let's continue to read. Charlie Man, I think Studio 54 was before Sam's time. Yeah, you nailed it. Charlie Man says, I remember the Russian tea room. I don't even know what that is. I remember the champagne room, Jalen. Wine and pills for my lunatic stepmom. Well, I understand it. And again, no judgment on her, but you have to get away from her. You have to get away from anyone that's not good for your mental health. So good evaluation. Charlie Man. I think blacking out windows at night may increase anxiety. I may have one-way windows. I can see out at night, but no one can see in when I have my light on. I'm not mad at you. For me, I'm the opposite. Everyone's different. I love you. I have to have my window covers on in addition to tints. And it just allows my mind to shut down. I could peek out of them, and once in a while I do if I need to. And so, and for me, it's, yeah, I mean, you definitely don't want somebody to be able to see in your car for a couple of reasons. For your privacy, and then also, look, if God forbid you are in danger, you want the element of surprise, right? Like if someone's going to try to attempt to come into your car for whatever reason, you want, when they unwrap that gift, they may not get what they like. They may get something, so it makes them more cautious too. Like, you're not going to just come in here like, because you don't know what you're going to get. But just understand, when you park safely and legally and you do things properly, 99% of the time you're not going to have a problem. There's always exceptions. And always keep your cell phone charged up. But I hear you. iSurvivor, what's up, brother? The communications technology today allows people to be more connected than ever. Different than 100 years ago, where people had more space for themselves. We are more exposed to other people's vibes. Yes. And I think that can be a good thing. But I think, like any stimulus, right, it can be a bad thing because we can get fixated on it. We can get addicted to social media. We can get addicted to games. I think it's better than tending the farm and not having any resources or people around. And if you have a psychopath father or mother, guess what? You living on a prairie, you ain't going to be able to go to Starbucks and get away from them. So I think society is better. But I think one of the negatives to an advanced society is too much stimulus. Okay, so like anything in life, right, you have to have balance. And everyone has a different balance, right? Some people like their coffee light and sweet. Some people like their coffee black, and some people like their coffee regular. There's a different balance for everyone. A healthy mind is a mind in balance. And so, it's a balance. Traveling Van Duke emoji, best emoji I've ever seen tonight. Good job. I am limitless. Sam spitting the facts, thank you. Keep it at 100 as best I can. And sock and raindrop emoji. Well, I am limitless. I ain't mad at that. Milano, Sammy was not around. Yeah, Studio 54 was 1977. Yeah, I wasn't born until 1980. Travel Van, Duke emoji, good job. Milano, Sammy been with this world, and you will have mental problems sooner or later. I agree. Milano, 100% agree. I think the older you get, the more your physical and your mind and your mental health break down. I think it's true. So I totally agree with you, brother. Good comment. Theo Outdoors, hey Sam, do you think your plant-based diet has helped your mental health? Yes. I think, like Milano said, I think as you get older, even when you have a plant-based diet, I think your mental health is still harder to maintain, just like your physical health. Example, when I was younger, I would eat a bucket of fried chicken and play a full court basketball game for 2 hours, and I was fine mentally and physically. Now, at damn near 40, if I don't eat a plant-based diet, I'm not good physically or mentally. So as you get older, it's even more imperative that you take care of your physical and mental health. Like when you're young, you can eat a bucket of fried chicken, you could be hanging out in a strip club, you can be drinking a Corona, smoking a blunt, hanging out with killers, and you can still be in a good place. Like when you get older, you can't even be around one person that's a little negative, you can't be anywhere that's suspect, and you have to really be conscious of taking care of yourself. So I think as you get older, you really have to make that conscious effort, guys, because it gets harder. I agree with that. Jalen, being a visionary is something I'm working on. Well, brother, healthy vibes to you, because you're going to need a healthy mind to have a good vision. Journey with Jordan. I remember watching one of your RV review videos. When other people got in the shot or blocked you way out, you spoke to them very kindly. I am. Look, guys, I treat people right and with much patience. Thank you. They really stuck with me. Well, I appreciate that. Guys, look, I may come on here and vent, but in real life, I mean, I make a effort to respect people. And if I really am frustrated, I walk away. Okay? I don't get in arguments. I try not to. I don't get in conflict because it's not good for me. It's not good. When you get in an argument, you know what hurts? It hurts you, even if you're right. So, I mean, again, sometimes people take me out of context because they come in my live feed, they watch 10 minutes and they think like I'm like that 24/7. When I'm just in an intense mode, I got a couple, minutes or an hour or whatever to get out my thoughts. And, you have to have passion, okay? So, but during the course of my day, 99% of my time, I'm very mellow. I'm very calm. I'm very, and if somebody does frustrate me, I just get away from them. I don't have conflict. So I appreciate you picking that up. Good job. Journey with Jordan, especially coming from New Jersey. Hey, look. Yep. Now, I understand the southern vibe is a little bit more slow, but yeah, I appreciate that. Snow Panther, Minnesota now. Thank you for the consistent uploads. Thank you for appreciating me. Even when you have bad days. Snow Panther, damn it. Thank you, brother. Thank you, man, for saying that. I appreciate that comment, man. Thank you, Snow Panther. Milano, 104. I felt it today, Milano. Guys, you got to get an air conditioner some part of the day, because let me tell you something, that heat can hurt you. But I rather the heat than the cold, so let's take a hydration break. Chris, man, thank you again, brother, for the super chat tip. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Hey, Rash, what's up, man? Cannon in the house. Hey, Sam. I'm overcoming arthritis, no starch breads diet. Okay. Doctors just wanted me to push pills. Have you, though, of taking your mother to a naturopath doctor? Nah. Look, my mother's 70. She's going to be 71. She struggled with weight her whole life. She's been on all different types of diets. Even when I talk to her every day. I talked to her today, and I said, Ma, how are you? How are you doing? She goes, it was tough to walk today. And I asked her what she did. She made some hot dogs on the grill. And she goes, I got heartburn. I just got done eating a chocolate bar. I remember fighting with my mom, like trying to get her to eat healthy. And I said, Ma, I'm not going to the Chinese food store. I'm not going to pick you up anything anymore. When I used to live in New Jersey. You get to a certain point in life, especially with your at least with me, with my mom, is that you just accept people. Okay? And then if you can't accept them, like I couldn't accept my father because it wasn't good for my mental health, I couldn't let him in my life anymore. So, like I say, I love my mom because she accepts me and I accept her. And I can't try to change her. You get to a certain point in life where somebody's at a certain age, the best thing you can do is give people freedom. Okay. And if you can't accept them, then you as an adult, you got to get away from them. But when I'm with my mom now, I don't try to change her. Okay. I laugh with her. I love her. I don't judge her. Like, I don't tell my mom, like, you shouldn't eat that hot dog. I said to my mom, I said, okay, Ma, I understand. I said, just try to maybe eat a little bit of salads too. Try to, but I understand. I hope you had a good, I talked to her. And that's all you can do, with a lot of people in life. So that comes with age though. Because in my younger years, I would try to be like a guy in The Biggest Loser, try to get everyone in shape, but you can't do that. You just got to accept people, or if you can't, you got to walk away. I'm a traveling van. And look, at the end of the day, even when you're in phenomenal shape, 80 is the average life expectancy. So, and at some point, you want to enjoy life a little bit. You want to have some treats. You want to have some indulgence. So, I often say, sometimes, I talk about gambling. Gambling can be very hard on you, can hurt your life tremendously. But also, if you don't take any risks in life, you don't go forward. So, there is a difference between excessive, risky gambling, but, having a business is a gamble. Getting married is a gamble. Okay, doing a lot of things in life is a gamble. Now, gambling is harsh, and I think it hurts you, just like overeating will hurt you. Like food, overeating is not good. It'll hurt you. Gluttony is a sin. But if you don't have any treats, there was a season of my life where I just ate enough to stay alive. I was almost anorexic. And if you don't have any treats, then you don't enjoy life. So the answer is always balance. The hard part about balance is everyone has an individual fingerprint, so everyone has a different balance. But you have to try to find your balance. And even when you're totally balanced, guess what? You have a bad day. You get knocked off balance. And so, today when I had a bad day, I said, well, it's a good thing that my life is in balance, especially now because as I get older, bad days are not easy. They're not. If I was young, I'm still relatively young. Some of you people who are 70 who said you never heard of a blowjob, you look at me like I'm a kid. I understand that. Milano think I went to Studio 54. But I'm middle-aged. And when I was 25, like I say, I was hanging out with all types of people. I was doing all types of things. I was still working a full-time job. I was always responsible. But I could deal with a lot more, okay? Because I was just young. I had wherewithal. But as you get older, I can't deal with too much. And that's why I think there's something embedded in the human mind that you want to downsize as you get older. And what I'm here to tell you, especially all you middle-aged people out there, is downsize as soon as you can. Because as you get older, it's harder. It really is. Let's continue to read. Traveling van. Same thing happens with those survivalist mindsets. Yeah, I would agree. The preppers, yep. Same as gamers, extreme cheap folks. Well, I'm a little cheap too. It steals joy and clarity of life. Well, you're right, though. You're talking about balance, and that's a good comment, Traveling Man. I would agree with that. There's a level of fear there, too. I agree with that, Traveling Man. Some people masturbate to fear. Like some people, like, everyone keeps thinking the economy is going to crash, and maybe it will. But guys, economy is actually at an all-time high. And even when it crashed, it came back. The Great Depression, it came back. It crashed in 2008, came back. So will it crash? I'm sure it will. But there's some people, like, they don't do anything because they keep expecting the economy to crash, and it may. But, like, if you're not living life because you expect the economy to crash, guess what? You're going to be dead soon anyway. So it's like, you got to enjoy life a little bit. I agree. Travel Van, I see people long before they see me. A Travel Van, I'm not mad at that. Cocked and loaded, as my man Trump would say. Cocked and loaded, man. I work with kindergartens all day, every day. You'd think it'd be frustrating, but since this, grown adults bother me a lot more. Definitely the older you get, the harder life gets. Yes. Now look, but kids can be assholes too. Okay. And you don't, you only get to see those kids during the day, and they have to, basically you have authority over them. I know some people that like kids, they like babysitting because it's their rules, their way. There's a red flag sometimes when I deal with people that they only like kids. They only like kids because those kids have to obey them. It's their life, their terms. And you have authority over them. Just like some people only like pets because the pets have to listen to them. But also what you'll find with people who like pets is, look, behind closed doors, they get frustrated too. And, pets could be a pain in the ass, and kids could be a pain in the ass. And look, life can be a pain in the ass. So I understand the context of your statement, and I tend to agree, but I also want to add some additional thought to that. Dennis, I appreciate you speaking to the age gap. Thank you. It's real. Oh, yeah. I've been an observer all my life. I could tell because you're very insightful. Now that I'm older, I tend to just look away. That's wisdom. I don't need drama, me neither, or aggravation. Older is different. I totally agree with that. Great comment. All right, guys, I gave it the best I could. I gave it all I got. And I appreciate you guys giving all you got. I appreciate every comment. Chris, thank you again, brother, for that super chat. Thank you. Thank you for everyone who clicked the thumbs up button and shared the video. Appreciate that. Michael Rodriguez. Try dating a person that only works with kids. It's harder for them to deal with adults. Let me tell you something, man. I dated a high school, public school teacher. Total disaster, okay? What I could tell you is public school teachers and nurses are the biggest freaks you'll ever meet in your life. But guess what? Hey, look, when you date, you gamble, okay? So, and that's why I don't like relationships. I like love. I respect love. I think some people need to be in a relationship so they'd be complete psychopaths. So it takes two to tango. Behind every freaky disaster is two people that decided to entangle with each other. It wasn't one person that was manipulated by a psychopath school teacher. It was a man that also wanted sex, that also wanted emotional support, but as soon as he got burnt, he blamed the high school teacher that was a complete tramp. Now all of a sudden, the girl you used to pillow talk to, now you talk about, oh, she had a tattoo on her ass. I should have knew she was a freak. Hey, look, takes two to tango, guys. You got Transformer underwear. You're no better. I love you. Well, you know what I'm saying. Let's stay positive. I love you. Jerry Jordan, thanks, Sam. Hope tomorrow's better. Thank you, brother. I love you, Michael. I love you, everyone, guys. You stay positive. Just do the best you can. That's all we can do.